Hey everyone. So it's been a while. It's been quite a while. And I have missed you guys a lot. I've missed streaming. I've missed hanging out with you guys and just sharing some of my favorite games. But unfortunately, I just wasn't having fun with it anymore. Um, Back whenever I last ended. I don't really know what it was, but it just wasn't as fun anymore. But a few years have passed now, and I'm going to try and come back. I can't guarantee how long I'm going to be back, but I'm going to try to. Um, so, one of the big things that I do want to talk about from a more personal note is my change in identity. I am now fully embracing being non binary. It's something that just kind of really started sinking in around the end of last year. Um, and then in January, I actually did like just a little random experiment of writing down every day what I felt like I was. And it was coming out more and more and more that I was feeling more non binary, feeling more they, them. And then I discovered my new name, and it clicked for me for that in that moment. So that's my big thing. I'm now non-binary. I'm using they them pronouns for the majority. I'm somewhat okay with she her and female pronouns, but I vastly prefer they them. And other things connected to that, like mix for if you need to address me by something. And then my new name is Peyton, spelling up on screen because it's a little weird. And the reason that I went with the spelling is because I'm still attached to the username Paichan, which I've used the nickname Paichan since late junior high, early high school. And it's something I'm still attached to. I still have a lot of good memories attached to that nickname and how I got that nickname. And so I still wanted it to be something that I could still use. And I found this spelling of the name Peyton, and it just clicked perfectly. So that's honestly kind of the biggest thing out of the way, just to kind of let you guys know that that's a thing. My modders will be able to wield the banhammer in case of people coming in and being assholes about it, because I'm sure that they're going to be. I'm, you know, I still have to deal with that in my own home life. So that's a thing. And my wallpaper just changed, so I'm gonna fix that. There we go. So it's a little bit less blinding white. So I just lost my train of thought there. Anyway, in my home life, I am still having to use female in my other name. But I deal with it. I have to deal with it at home. But if I can manage to kind of continue being myself in, social media and in my streaming, that would genuinely help my mental state. So that's something that I'm hoping that streaming helps with it, and just reaffirming and reconfirming who I am and who I really am, and I'm not the person that I have to be at home. And I'm excited about that. I genuinely am. And I hope that y'all will continue to be as supportive as you've always been. I really do enjoy my community. I've had a good community. And I would like to see that continue. The next thing I need to address is my stream schedule. So as of right now, with this, obviously the end of this month, which, we're coming up on the end of this month, and next month at least, I will only be streaming on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons. This is because my current job, which I'm going to remain anonymous on because it's not something that I want to share on social media, at least not too much, aside from occasional people that have to do with my work and that sort of thing. But my current job, I work very strange hours, but it includes me having to wake up very early in the morning on weekdays. and so I just can't stream in the afternoons. I basically come home and I rest a little bit, I maybe get a little bit of free time, then have dinner, and immediately I'm right into bed. But I don't have to deal with that on weekends. So Fridays and Saturdays will be my only stream days. It's going to be Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time until 8 p.m. Central Time. Figure that out as you need to. And then on Saturdays, it's going to be from 2 p.m. Central Time until 5 p.m. Central Time. So it's a little bit longer on Saturdays. I can account for a little bit more time. And that still leaves me open to potentially hang out with any family members that I want to hang out with. My niece is over often, and often. She's over at least once a month, or she tries to be over at least once a month, since her dad is living with us. And I don't know if she'll ever be on stream. She might. I'd have to ask. But she's a gamer too, so she might pop in. But that still gives me time to hang out with my family, and I still get to stream. And I still get to hang out with you guys. And I will say I'm extremely excited about the game that I'm going to be coming back to stream. And I wanted to put together a lore video for you guys that talks about the story of Jedi Survivor, the original game, not Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, the first game, and then kind of catching people up on kind of the lore of Star Wars and what might be coming in the story of this game, because I'm completely blind to it except for that very first teaser. I have no idea what the story's going to be. I have no idea what the gameplay is going to be like, aside from it being similar to the original, which I thoroughly enjoyed, more so than I thought I would. And obviously it following Cal Kestis' story. And I really wish I'd been able to put together that video, but honestly, I had computer problems, and I wanted to put it together by I wanted to put this video together and out by mid-month, and then just spend the rest of April leading up to this coming Wednesday putting together a script and editing together this video of the Star Wars lore video I wanted to do. But I couldn't. I will just say this. I will be discussing spoilers for the Mandalorian seasons, which season 3 just finished. I will be discussing yep, I still can't speak right. I will be discussing spoilers for Bad Batch season 2, and I will be discussing some older spoilers for older shows that have been out for months now. Andor, specifically, I will be talking about Obi-Wan, because that series actually takes place the same year as this game does. So that's kind of fun, even if it means that the likelihood of seeing Obi-Wan is like, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. But I will be discussing the spoilers of those, and then older series as well. I'll be talking about Clone Wars, which I have now finally sat down and watched the entirety of, and I'm so glad I did. As well as Star Wars Rebels, which there may be some tie-ins, and I'm expecting tie-ins genuinely. I would love to see more tie-ins to Rebels, since we've got the Ahsoka series coming up, which has some very strong ties to Rebels, and I'm trying to think of some other stuff that might be coming out soon. I can't remember. I know that there's like early, like prequel series stuff coming out, but the Ahsoka series is the thing that's immediately coming out. I know the trailer just dropped, and I'm super excited. But I will be talking about all of that throughout the course of this game. And if that's a problem, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be censoring that. I can't. There's just too much about the Star Wars lore that I'm really into, that I'm hoping will show up in this game. Clones, please. Please show clones. If you follow my Twitter, you know that I've definitely fallen in love with the clones. I retweet a lot of clone fan art. I like the clones a lot. I would love to see clones show some story with Cal, because Cal doesn't know about what happened with the clones. He doesn't know the truth about Order 66. I would like to see him learn that, but I don't know. But anyway, that's mainly just it. I just wanted to give you guys that update. And I really am excited to come back and play with you guys. And this is going to be my first time since Greedfall that I've tried playing a game that has just come out. I think I played Greedfall on release day. And we played a few, I played a few streams of it before tech problems happened. Hopefully, I'm not going to have that problem anymore. If it does, I'll figure it out, because I definitely want to stream this game and I want to play this game blind with you guys. I think it will be a lot of fun, and I think it's a game that I'm excited about, and it's a game that I'm excited to geek out about and talk about, which does actually lead into another point I should make. If you are looking for a game player of this who is going to be focused on the game and is going to be min-maxing and playing the best that they can, I'm not going to be the one you want to watch. I'm not going to be playing it on a hard difficulty. I'm probably going to play it on the story mode, because I want to focus on the story. I want to focus on being able to kind of take a moment, pause, and like talk about a thing that just happened, or answer any lore questions that might come in, because I do have a fairly good grasp of Star Wars lore, at least from the visual series. I haven't read the books. I definitely have not read the books. I want to. The Republic Commando books especially I want to read, which that's another game that I would love to play. But I don't have a capture card, and I don't have a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo account. But if you do have a Nintendo account and you have a Nintendo Switch, it is currently free to play, and I highly recommend it, because the commandos are so much fun, and one of them showed up in Bad Batch. We got a confirmation of that, and I was super happy about it. And we didn't have a Bad Batch versus Delta Squad moment, which I was really scared about. But as far as like the Star Wars games, I've obviously played Old Republic on here, but that's not going to have anything to do with Survivor. I think it's just the only game that's gonna have a impact on Survivor is obviously Fallen Order, and then potentially, but I very doubt it, Commando. I honestly don't know how much of the clones are still in Imperial command right now at this point in the story. In Obi-Wan we saw a clone begging for money, so I would imagine that they're not going to be like the stormtroopers. The stormtroopers are going to be all just regular people that decided to, hey, we're going to go work for the Empire, just like they are in Rebels. So I anticipate that that's going to be the case. So if we get any of the Republic Commando characters like Scorch, they're going to be just kind of free roaming and trying to stay under the radar, like Rex, Wolf, and Gregor were in Rebels. And speaking of that, Wolf is my number one thing that it's like, we haven't seen how Wolf gets rescued yet. We know about Gregor, we know about Rex, we do not know how Wolf gets his chip out, and I want to know how Wolf gets his chip out, and I would love it if that was in this game. That would be really awesome, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing. That's my one big thing that I want to see happen in this game, but I don't think it is. I genuinely don't think so. There's other things that I think will be more likely to happen that have to do with the Jedi and have to do with things that Cal would be involved in potentially. But that's my big like shoot for the moon. I would love to see Wolf involved with Cal's story. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. I ended up talking about Star Wars and lore anyway, but anyway, that is, y'all know me, and y'all know me when I get to talking about lore. I've done this with Dragon Age. I did this with Mass Effect. I did this. I think I did some of it with Greedfall. But you know, whenever I get excited and start talking about the lore, it might be a while. Hush phone. That's another game series that I recently got into and played almost. I played all of 5 and I played all of 4. I played some of 1. I need to play 3. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play 2. But yeah, I played the DMC games during spring break and got very obsessed with it, as my text tone implies. And now I just lost my train of thought again. I will be going off on tangents during stream. There might be times where I pause and talk for 5-10 minutes about the lore before getting back into gameplay. So if you're looking for someone who's going to be focusing on playing the game itself and not going into lore and that sort of thing, I'm not going to be the streamer you want to watch. And I don't blame you for that, because there are times where there's streamers that I don't like watching because they don't go into the lore. I like the people that go into the lore and have real interest in finding out the story and learning about the characters and getting invested in that, more than, oh hey, look how fast I can beat this boss. I mean, yeah, it's impressive if you can do both. And I have had interest in doing that sort of thing, especially like with Greedfall. But I do story first, and y'all know that. If a game has good story, then I like to get invested in that. But I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. And clearly someone wants my attention. So I'm gonna go ahead and call that video here, and I will see you guys on Friday. I'm really excited, and I cannot wait to see you guys there. I hope that there's a good turnout, and I hope that this is a good stream time for you guys, and I will see you then. Until then, thank you guys so much for still sticking with me after all this time, and I will see you guys then.